This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of their affiliated organizations.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to Ready to Connect. I'm Ryan.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Lisa.
And today is the first episode of this brand new podcast. We are so excited. We're going to be discussing metaphysical topics. There's a wide range to discuss. But today we just thought we would be able to introduce ourselves and get to the origin stories of maybe how we came about with our different gifts and how we all met, and even a story about how we came up with the name. So should be a good story. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
So a little bit about me. I'm Lisa. I live in Coventry, Connecticut with my husband. Proud mom of 3 children and 1 grandson, just newborn.
Yeah.
I've been working in the world of holistic health and in psychic mediumship in our business for about 11 years now. 11 years, 11 or 12. We figured this out. And 11 years since 2014. How about that? Known I've had a gift since I was a child, but I've come to use it for people in help of people since 2014. But more on that later. A little bit about me. I'm an avid reader. I love to read, listen to books, ebooks, physical books. I'm a little bit now more of a buyer of books than a reader of books. I have too many books. I love to read. Cat owner. Love my cats. They're just my babies now that my children are all grown and have left me. I was a former teacher of elementary school and special ed, and now I work with Heather at Serenity Grove Wellness Center doing Reiki healing and psychic mediumship and art for healing, expressive art healing. So it's a little bit about me. Love the beach too. I don't know if that's important for anybody, but a little bit about me. How about you?
I'm Heather, and don't know how to talk about myself, but I'm the other half of Serenity Grove Wellness Center, and all my life I've had profound experiences, and so I was really blessed to be fostered with my profound experiences with the metaphysical world and spiritual world, and becoming a mom enhanced that. My daughter, too, has way different gifts than I do, but she's amazing. And I too live in Coventry, Connecticut. I'm so grateful for being able to be here and being able to talk about this and getting it out into the world, because I think it's a real thing that gets kind of poo-pooed on or gets a lot of taglines that maybe aren't necessary. So I'm excited.
And you're a lover of the beach too.
I love the beach. I love animals. I'm always trying to save an animal. I'm always trying to be a friend with an animal. I think I walk the world with a different veil. So I try to see beauty in everything. I think it's really important.
Well, I'm Ryan. So I'm a former teacher as well. I taught special ed for a while. And now I co-own the company Artist Haven Media. We're located in Vernon, and that's where I live as well, Vernon, Connecticut. So that's been fun, switching over from teaching into marketing. It's a different realm, but it's also enjoyable. It's still rewarding. As for, let's see, spiritual gifts and everything, I've always known, likewise what you were saying, I've always known ever since I was a child that there was something unique going on, or at least it felt like it. And so yeah, let's see, I'm trying to think of what else to say.
You love birds.
I do love birds. I was just gonna say that. Thank you. You read my mind. Yeah.
Might be psychic.
Yeah, you might be psychic. I love birds. To be quite honest, I love crows. I get excited when I see the crows in my backyard because I know they're protecting other birds. And I enjoy animals as well. And most recently, I've gotten into looking at values of coins. So I do have an app on my phone that I scan coins. And that's what I've been doing in my spare time now.
Do you do healing with the animals?
Oh, good question. No, I haven't tapped into that, but I've been thinking about it. So,
You
Absolutely.
should.
yeah.
It's
You
a lot
should.
of fun to be able to go and work with an animal that is either sick or healthy or
Hmm.
needs a question answered for their owner. And there's such beauty when you can be in their space versus like them coming to your space, right? So we should do that,
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. We'll have it be an episode on this podcast.
Well, yeah, absolutely. So
Maybe.
everybody can see the beauty of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had the crows come land on you yet or near you?
No, not yet. Well, it's interesting because when I moved around a lot in the past couple of years, and in our previous apartment, that's where the crows started coming. And then when we moved, I was like, "Oh, I hope they can find me again." And they did. The family of 3, they're in the backyard again. So,
That's amazing.
Do you leave them shiny objects?
I I haven't left them anything, and they haven't left me anything yet, but I have been thinking about it.
You should
Uh,
leave them gifts because if you're coin collecting, they might find some coins for you and bring them back to you.
That would be fantastic. And
Yeah.
then I could scan the coin and see how much it's worth.
They can make money for you, right?
Exactly. How can I make money
Yeah.
out of feeding crows and being friends with them?
I like that.
Yeah.
New profession.
Yeah, exactly.
The crow whisperer.
There is an article out there with someone actually made a I don't want to say machine, but something where they taught crows how to bring back quarters to get food. But we could talk about that on another episode. So
Yeah. I was
it is
just
But
out
if
there.
anybody listening has some crow advice,
Exactly.
we'll gladly take
You know,
that.
Yeah.
I was just at the bird store today getting more bird food, and I feed the squirrels, so
Mhm.
peanuts for the squirrels. And we have crows in our backyard too. And they're so awkward trying to feed off the feeder. I'm saying, how do you feed crows? And they says, well, you can put a pile of cracked corn out for them. And I
Oh.
said, oh, do you have any small bags? That they only have the ginormous bags. And I'm like,
Oh.
well, they can keep eating the peanuts from the squirrels. A lot of cracked corn, but a lot of crows. I saw something amazing too recently. I want to say it was about 5 or 6 crows chasing a hawk through the sky,
Yes.
really away from. I don't know if the hawk was too close to their nest or
Mhm.
what, or if they're protecting other birds.
Mhm.
But it was quite something. I've seen 1 or 2, but this was like almost like a whole flock of crows going after a hawk.
They do that, yeah. So, for instance, I have a lot of birds that come to my feeders, and so like the songbirds, like house finches, goldfinches, all those smaller birds. And when the hawk is around, all of a sudden you'll hear the crows come in. They will chase the hawk away, and they'll get so close that they'll like hit the hawk at
Wow.
times, and just to get them to fly away. And so that's why I appreciate the crows, just because they're protecting others.
Hawks got to eat too, though.
Yeah, I know, I do. Yeah, I think about the hawk too.
Anyway,
But
this
yeah.
is not a bird podcast.
I mean, yeah, we could have that be another
We're probably
episode.
going to edit a lot of this out.
Probably. Chris will. But yeah, okay. So let's see, where were we?
I'm sure people would be interested in how we all came to meet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how did we meet? Who wants to share that story?
Well,
Well,
Heather
you-
and I,
you
Heather and
both
I were
want-
first
Yeah.
business partners. We're working together for Rank Grove Wellness Center. And one of the things that we do in our business is we teach classes up at Vernon Adult-Based Education at Rockville High. And one of the classes we do teach is developing your intuition at a beginning level. And you were in that class.
Yes.
And you took that class, and that's how we met. And then I found out that you owned a media company with your cousin, and I'm like, the networking group that we're part of, we need somebody that's a graphic designer, a website designer, somebody that works in the media. So I invited you to come to that networking group, and that's how we came to know you.
Mhm.
And you guys joined, and then you were just so taken with Heather and I and how we teach that you took private classes from us.
Yeah.
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 How was that experience for you?
Well, I was just gonna say, if anyone's interested in taking classes, Heather and Lisa are fantastic teachers. Just because it at first it may seem like it's an overwhelming topic. However, they break it down and make it easy to digest. and easy to learn, and it feels like you truly have a mentor with you every step of the way, rather than just having someone teach at you. So
I think it's
Yeah.
so important to remember, though, that we're all intuitive. We
Mhm.
all have some form of alert system, alarm system, however you want to look at it, right? Like, we've talked about things that you would never put into context. And we all come from different backgrounds, right? So some people perceive better, some people feel better, some people just hear things. And like it's all part of life. But as we grow up, we're told to grow up and we start losing some of those sensories. And like when you come to our classes, we open that back up for you. Like you don't need to feel overwhelmed in Home Depot or Stop and Shop because everybody brought their spirits with them and you're feeling that or whatever it may be. Understand yourself and you'll understand the gifts that you were given to kind of walk this life with, right?
Yeah, I think in our classes, I mean, Heather and I firmly believe everybody has those intuitive gifts. It's just a matter of educating yourself and becoming more aware.
Because nobody does it the same. You don't even do it the way we do it.
Right.
I don't do it the way she does it.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. And we mentor off of each other as well. So, and now we mentor with you, right? So, like, you see how there's just so many variables. And in a world that's not understandable in the public eye, this is so beautiful. So, we can bring it forward for everybody to maybe use their gifts a little better.
Absolutely.
So, if we were to continue the story,
Yeah.
you had have a podcast, Walking in Your Shoes.
Yes.
And you invited Heather and I to be guests on that podcast and to interview us. And we said, of course, yes. And we had a fabulous time.
We did.
Laughed a lot. Had a fabulous time. And we talked a whole lot. What, you have like 3 hours
Yeah.
or something of just us chatting?
Yeah, it was a couple hours.
Yeah, something like that. And we enjoyed it. And then you had us come back to interview you and your co-host.
Correct.
And we had a great time doing that too.
Mhm.
And so Heather and I realized that we enjoyed podcasting and we put it in the back burner of someday. And then we were here getting consultation from you and your cousin Chris about our website and making some changes to our business so it can be marketed a little bit differently. And just out of the blue, what'd you say, Ryan?
I think it was like, should have a podcast, or I don't know, just something
Hey, I have
along
to,
the
I have
lines.
to ask you right now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because it just kept like pinging at me, like ask, and I'm like, okay, hold on, like.
I think you know when it just feels right.
Yeah.
You know, like you want to be, there's people that you just kind of hold on the outside. And then there's
Yeah.
people like, how do I get him into my life? Or how do I get this person to be, interactive with me? How do I get to be friends with this person? And like, I think we all walked into that feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know more about you.
Yeah.
I want to share space with you.
I think when you asked, I don't think we didn't hesitate one beat. It was just like,
We did
oh,
not.
yeah, that'd be great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. That was really. So we went away, gave it about a month to marinate
Yes.
over of kind of, what should we call it? We had a whole list of names for our podcast. Lots and lots of names, which Heather did a lot of the research to see if the names were taken by something else and found out a lot of the great names that we had were all taken. And we came back to
So
the
congratulations to everybody that chose our name.
Yeah.
The names we wanted to use.
studio.
Yeah.
So we came back to the studio to have a meeting about what we should call this. And that is funny, the story of how we got our names. I don't even remember the names that we were talking about. But we
They
were
were all kind of like trying to relate to people who don't understand someone like Lisa and I and someone like Ryan. And then that epiphany happened, right?
Yeah.
Like the machine kicked on and went, ready to
To
connect. And we went, okay.
yeah. As
And
we
it's
were-
not taken.
yeah.
Right.
As we were sitting here, I think it was Chris who was doing something with sound. There
Yeah.
was some speaker over here to my left that was trying to, I think, get connection through the internet.
Correct. Yeah.
And it kept saying, ready to connect, which means you got to push the button. Ready to connect.
Yeah.
Ready to connect. And it kept going over and over as we're having our meeting, talking about it, spitballing ideas. Let's vote on this. And we kept hearing, ready to connect,
Yeah.
ready to connect. And then all of a sudden, Heather and I looked at each other and just like, we're being hit in the head by spirit here, telling us what to
Yeah.
say. And then we looked at you, and then the dawning came to you, and you're like, that works. Chris quickly looked it up, goes, not taken.
Yeah. And then right when we decided, that's when it stopped.
It stopped saying ready to connect. That was just crazy.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good name. We're connecting with each other. We're connecting with the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about connection to the metaphysical world. So it's amazing.
And
Yeah.
there's so much to the metaphysical world.
Right.
Like every time I think, you've kind of learned everything that's out there, someone brings something up and you're like, wow, this is incredible. Like it's all interconnected, truly interconnected.
Yeah.
So
Enjoy it.
the name really fits. Ready
It
to
does.
connect.
Ready to connect. Yeah. So I'm wondering if people out there would love to know a little bit about some experiences we had.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they would.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, let's see. Yeah. Would anyone want to share a story? I'm trying to look over here. Chris will edit this out.
Well,
Oh,
I
here
can
we go.
remember, I
Yeah.
can remember like being a very young girl and hearing spirit and not understanding why I'm in this room by myself and someone's having this full conversation with me.
Wow.
So immediately as a little girl, your imagination goes rampant because you're not being told to
Well,
grow up or whatever.
back it up. You're hearing spirits. So talk a little bit about what clairaudience is.
So one of my gifts is clairaudience. And so not only do I hear, and not in a psychiatric way, because I know some people out there would be like, oh, she needs psychiatric help because she's hearing voices. I understand that there is a real clinical, part of life where, medicines can make you hear things or whatever,
Right.
or you're having
You have a psychotic break or something.
you're having some kind of mental break, right? This is different. The voice that I hear is like a guidance. It's like
Mhm.
don't go left because if you go left, there's a car accident, or, the guidance of take the elevator or take the stairs. And it's totally different than the crazy voices that people think it's associated with clairaudient. And so I hear guidance all the time, sometimes too much guidance can be a little overwhelming in the eardrums. But not only is it like an internal guidance feeling, but it's also external. It's kind of like being in the room and you hear a voice but nobody's there with you.
Mhm.
And you listen. If you just take a minute to listen, it's usually really good advice. And whether you take it or not is up to you. You always have free will in anything that we do, spiritually inept, right? So yeah, one of my gifts is being able to hear spirit, and I have received some amazing guidance over the years, including being with my business partner, right?
That's
And
awesome.
listening to that voice of I need to be in her space as much as possible. And it's really cool, right? So voices from out or external could be an animal speaking to me, like tell my mom or tell my dad I'm hungry, or I'm hurt, or I'm in
Mm.
pain,
I
and
don't like that food.
or they don't like their food, or they want to be outside more. And usually sometimes it's a whining session more than like actually what we're getting into. So you have to learn to kind of discern that. But like having this ability is so beautiful because I don't need to approach anybody
Mhm.
and say, well, spirit says, because then you're automatically going to get the cross-eyed and people are going to kind of look at you like, okay, lady, I'm going to get you some medicine, right? But being able to have a conversation with somebody like, have you ever thought about this? Or have you ever heard of this? Or opening up their world, like you always see on social media, planting the seed and
Mhm.
allowing them to take that seed and use that advice to their advantage. Or maybe they don't take the advice at all, which is fine too, because we all have free will. So I love being able to have the clairaudient part of my gifts because I hear the world differently. I hear
Mhm.
the hum of the world differently. And I wish we all could be more mindful sometimes.
Mm.
But when you were young, you're saying when you were a young girl.
But when I was young, I had a profound experience where I was clearly communicating and there was a message that needed to be heard. And so lovingly, I was guided to be able to express that instead of being told, stop being a child or stop, stop whatever. Just because parents are here, obviously, to guide us and teach us the wrongs and the rights and when to do it and when not to do it. And I was so young that I didn't know when not to do it and when to do it. So having the fostering is what Lisa and I really pride ourselves on with Serenity Grove is we're here to help you foster. We're not going to tell you to stop talking. We're not going to tell you to stop listening or seeing or hearing or feeling, because our whole lives are contingent on what we hear, see, and feel too, right? So this profound experience brought something to light that was really important and we were able to move forward. And it's always stuck with me. Like, is this person that came to me still talking? Do they visit me? Do they give me guidance still? And the answer is yes. There's always someone guiding us if we just ask. So
there's some of our students come and they want to know how to recognize their guides speaking to them. They want to know their spirit guides. And so I always equate it to, we all talk to ourselves inside our head, right? We know that. Well, your guides talk to you inside your head too, and they sound like you. But the only difference is when you talk to yourself, you say, I should, I want to do this, I want to do that, I shouldn't do this. Your guides are going to say you should. So pay attention to the inner speak in your head. And if you get things, you should leave now, that's your guides telling you. You shouldn't eat that. That's your guides telling you. I want to eat that. That's me saying yes to the cake that's in front of me. And the guides are probably saying you should stay on your diet or whatever, But so if you listen to inner speak, your guides speak to you through that for sure.
That and music. They use music.
Yeah, they use music a lot
They use
too.
music all the time to get messages across. So there's just so many ways auditory that you can receive messages. It doesn't always have to be a voice. It could be music or anything that makes sound, either alarming you and reminding you to take a look at your surroundings, or you're in a really good spot and you just observe and take in all the really great things happening around you.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever heard spirit, Ryan? One of your
Yeah,
earliest
I do
experiences
actually.
or things that you remember?
Sure. Yep. So I wrote it down. Yeah. So, well, actually, I was gonna ask first, Heather, did you have any other like remarkable experience that you want to share?
I have so many spirit-driven that it would be hard to put it all into one podcast. But yes, it started when I was a young lady and a young girl and proceeded. And every time the voice that I need to hear has guided me. So I have lots of stories. I just don't have one on the spot.
Okay. No worries. We can come back to that later date. But just want to make sure we ask that too, just in case, because you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always knew ever since I was a little kid that I could hear spirits and just know things as well. So
you're a clairaudient because you hear,
right?
But you know things, so you're a claircognizant.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
I get them confused sometimes, in all honesty, still.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, for instance, there's some times where I feel like I could just walk into a room and like I feel like I know something about someone, or I know something's gonna happen, and it's like I'm just waiting for it to happen. So for instance, I could it's gonna sound silly, but I can tell if I'm like looking at a couple, I can tell if they're gonna get married soon, or like I just feel like I just know it.
Yeah.
So things like that. But when I was a kid, so it started, let's see, when I was about 6 years old. So it started after my sister passed away. I was 6 years old when she passed. And that's when, after all that happened, I started hearing from spirits. And I felt like I was just having conversations with imaginary friends. And I remember this specifically. I was randomly asking because I was really into like checkers, like playing checkers back then. So I was like, "Oh, do you play checkers over there?" And I had this whole conversation. And my mother thought she didn't know what I was doing. She was like, "Why are you having this conversation like with yourself?" But I was having the conversation out loud. But yeah. So since then, it's been kind of on and off. But I also had, since my sister passed, it kind of morphed into whenever I was, playing games, or like I felt like she was there with me. And I always had her visit in dreams as well. But there were a couple of incidents there that are events that happened, I suppose, where my sister did make quite an appearance, literally. So there was one time I was getting off the bus and I had to walk across like a couple streets to get to my house, and maybe I was like, I don't know how old I was, maybe like 10, let's say. And so basically 10 or 11. And so I was getting off the bus, crossing the street, and I wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden, I guess a car was coming right towards me, not stopping or slowing down or anything. I literally heard so loud in my right ear, like screaming my name, like Ryan. And I looked up just in time to see the car coming at me, and I jumped out of the way. And so afterwards I was like, okay, I know there's a daycare down the street. I know I have some neighbors. Like maybe someone was out here. I looked around, no one was outside. So I was like, okay, thank you. That was appreciated. And then another time when she appeared was when our grandmother was passing. So my sister has a habit of appearing, I guess, in the middle of the night. It might sound a little creepy, but at the foot of my bed, she'll just stand there and smile and just like let me know that everything's okay. And so she did that 2 times in one night, literally.
So you're not just clairaudient, you also see
I can
spirit,
see,
which
yeah.
makes you clairvoyant.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
unfortunately, in the internet world, everybody gets labeled under the clairvoyant topic.
Really?
But clairvoyancy is very different from all the other clairs that are available to our emotions and our sensories.
Yeah.
So you're also, not only do you know things, you hear things, but you can also see them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and she's the one who has really like stood out so that I could see her clearly, clear as day. But yeah, that night in particular when our grandmother was passing, she showed up 2 times. So, and just once again just standing there smiling, showing that everything was okay. So, yeah, I feel like those were the most impactful moments.
It's a nice blessing, right?
It really is. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about seeing spirit, hearing spirit, and knowing. I'm claircognizant too, so I just get like a knowing, an inspired idea. It just comes to me, and you have to speak to it, otherwise it just bothers you and bothers you. But I'm also what's called a clairsentient psychic, which means I feel things. I feel energy. I see energy too, but I feel energy. I feel thoughts. I feel emotions. I feel the physicalness of them if they were to have been living, so I can channel them physically too. And my earliest recollection of, I've always kind of felt like I had people with me. I think I used to call them the people with me, being guided. I always felt spirit around me, and I never felt afraid about things growing up. There are times where my sister would scare me with different, when you're little, your sister, monsters are coming out front of the bed, gonna get you kind of thing. And that would frighten me. But I was never really afraid of, even when I was a teenager, walking home alone at night on Long Island, New York, you think you would be really kind of worried for yourself. I never really worried for myself. Just always felt very protected, just feeling them around. But I remember as a teenager, in high school. Now, I'm going to date myself. I am the oldest of the group. Back in the day, we had what was called typewriters that you would type your papers on. And if you were lucky, you had an electric one. So I was lucky. I had an electric typewriter. It was really cool. And I had it on my desk. And so I must have been like a junior in high school. I had this typewriter to type papers on. And I went, to school, came home. And in the typewriter was paper that had been typed on, "You are safe, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe." Or almost like, The Shining.
Yeah.
We're going to like, Johnny's a good boy, Johnny's a good boy, whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, I'm safe. It's good to know. Someone's got my back. And every now and then I would come home and there would be messages in that typewriter that were typed, kind of thing. So that was kind of like my first really understanding that someone's around. And you might think, well, it had to be someone pulling a prank. I was the first one back in my house. And, my little brother didn't go up in my room. and he's never copped to that. But I have to say, I've always had the feeling of knowing where to be when for people, being guided. Again, in high school, no, it was college time, home for the summer, knowing I needed to see one of my good friends immediately, how to get there. And when I got there, it was because his dad had just had a heart attack and was being taken away in an ambulance. And
Oh, wow.
just knowing I had to be there, being guided that way, kind of feel. But one of my most profound experiences was to help my husband understand that this is all real.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I'm married to an actuary who is an insurance guy, very left brain. This is not his world. It's not his world. And when I'm sitting here talking about, yeah, there's spirit in the house, don't you hear that? And he's just kind of like, yeah, Lisa's got a great imagination. She's an artist, very creative, whatever kind of thing. So one night, and you say how it's creepy they show up at your bed, right?
Yeah.
I had this feeling. It's usually, I will get a sense that spirit's right close to me, almost like staring right at my face. You know, when people invade your personal space, they're too
Wow.
close. And I never really sleep very well, get up. And I sensed my mother-in-law, who had passed, was with us. And she really wanted me to get up. She wanted to go check the children, the kids, the grandkids. And so I get up. And, you know, my husband stirs and I said, don't worry, your mom's here. And he's just like, in his mind, I'm sure he's like, what's going on? I'll be right back. She wants me to do something. So I go in to each of my kids' rooms and I go into my oldest son's room, Chris, and she says, his shoes are too small. I said, no, Mom, the shoes are just right. He's not complaining. They're fine. I go into my daughter's room. Kelly's not there. Where's Kelly? She's at a sleepover. She's not supposed to be here. Go into my other son's room, Kevin. He's sick. I said, no, Mom, he's fine. He's not sick. He hasn't been complaining. And so as I'm doing this, my husband is up in bed going, what the heck is wrong with my wife? What's going on here, right? And so he's starting to say in his mind, not out loud, if this is really you, Mom, tell her to tell me not to freak out. Tell me not to freak out. If this is really you, Mom, tell me not to freak out. So I come back in. And I get in bed and I realize, I said, your mom really wants you to call your dad. And then I go back and it's quiet. And then I turn and says, by the way, Mike, you're not supposed to freak out about this. And at that moment, my husband goes, oh my God. He sits up and goes, oh my God, she really was here. And I said, I told you she was. I really would like to go back to bed. The next morning, what happens? Chris comes down in the morning, Mom, my sneakers don't fit. I need new sneakers for baseball. And my youngest, who's never sick, if he's complaining about pain, it's full blown, whatever. He was saying my ear hurts.
Wow.
Took him, and he had a full blown ear infection. The doctor said that he should have been in so much pain.
Wow.
So spirit's right when they're telling you that. But that experience helped my husband understand that these things are real. And we get this often when people come and they get a reading and they're like, oh, how did you know that? Oh, this really is real.
Do you remember
you
that
had that
one
experience.
fair we did where the lady thought we Googled her?
What?
And there was no possible way that we would know what we knew
Right.
by Google. And this was like back in the day. It was like
We
when
were sitting at a fair.
Yes,
we were sitting at a fair and behind a table. And, you know, we don't know who's going to stop in, sit down, say, can I have a 15-minute reading? Here's, you know,
Right.
whatever we were charging. She sits down and we start talking to her. She goes, you must have Googled me. I'm like,
and you
when?
automatically start making, like, you try not to make the face, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you know your face is giving this all away. And you're just like, okay, how did I Google you? Like, how would I know this?
Yeah.
I
And
didn't know.
she, yeah.
If you were really psychic, you would know that I'm coming. I love that one. She said, if you're really psychic, you would know.
Oh, and by the way, most psychics, and I haven't found one yet, who can give me the lottery numbers.
I was just going to say the same
Because
thing.
for see, I'm psychic. I
Yeah.
knew you were thinking
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You knew it.
Like, I would love the lottery numbers. That would make life a lot
we
easier.
had the lottery
and I'm
numbers,
sure
we wouldn't be
everybody
sitting
would
on this
think that
couch.
too, right? Like, I wish I could get the lottery numbers. Lottery is not fate, right? Lottery is a game.
Although
so.
I will say my claircognizance should have come in real handy. We don't go to the casinos, my husband and I, very often. And we were out at a vineyard down by the casinos one Friday. I said, you know, for ha-has, I've never played roulette. I want to go play roulette. I'll look it up how to do it on our way there. So we decided to stop. And my husband, being my husband, well, I'm only going to spend this amount of money. When it's gone, and we're done. I'm like, okay. So whatever it was, $100, whatever it was, we go play roulette. I'm saying, we played, we lost, we made enough money, we made enough, so we pocketed the 100, so we've made up, and so we're playing off the winnings. Not a lot of winnings. And he says, I think we're done. I think we're done. I said, no, we got to play the number 12. He goes, no, we're done. I said, I'm telling you, 12, 12. And he's like, no, we're done. So he's waiting didn't place a bet, waiting so he can cash out. You know what number came up on the wheel? That we didn't play because my husband wouldn't do it anymore? Number 12.
Wow.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh.
Would have had $3,000 in my hand.
Oh.
Would have been enough to pay for some home improvement. So, anyway,
Well, maybe you could go there again.
but I've yet to
Yeah.
get lottery numbers.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you get lottery numbers?
No. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because when I was younger, I used to try to guess what numbers would be pulled out every single time. Sometimes I would be correct, but other times no. It was more just for fun.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather not know because I feel like I'd have so many people asking.
Yeah.
So,
The other thing that I don't like about being psychic is everybody's like, well, you're psychic. You can read my mind.
exactly. Yeah.
We're not mind readers. That's
don't wanna be
very
a mind reader.
That's a misconception.
It's a dirty place up there, and I'm not sure you should be stomping around in there. So I shouldn't be stomping around in your area either, right? Like that we don't do that either. I think there's another misconception out there that psychics automatically are going to read you. Remember we were at this fair and like we were watching the people, literally half the percentage of people that came through this fair would hold their hands in front of their faces
Oh,
and
wow.
around the table, like around the table. So
That's
that,
because I was doing this
Wow.
at them.
yeah. And like, you just look at them like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you come to realize, oh, they think we're reading your mind.
Oh.
And you're like, no, buddy. Like, right? And then you have the people that come to the table and they tell you everything. And it's wonderful to hear someone's life story because we all have a story. And then there's oversharing.
Mm.
So, yeah, we're not reading anybody's minds. And I'm sure you're not trying to read anybody's mind.
And we
No.
try not to do connection unless people ask us to, because it's like invading privacy. Some things are just very powerful, and so then you ask, is it okay? Can I tell you something? And that's what happened earlier today. But yeah,
I don't necessarily ask.
not everybody wants a reading. Not everybody wants to
Yeah.
know.
That's true.
And I don't necessarily ask if someone wants a reading. I'll listen to what Spirit's saying, and then if the conversation is directed in a certain way, I'll incorporate the message into
Hmm.
it. And I think that makes it so much a little easier for people to digest. Like, wow, how did you know that? And it's like, oh, been around the block a few times, or you use candid kind of responses, but like so many times I've been given a message that I can build into a conversation with somebody and not have to say it came from Spirit, it came from here, it came from there. And it ended up being such a well-rounded and really responsive conversation. And I don't know, it's gratifying when you can meet someone's needs, even if they're a stranger, just for a minute. I guess it's
Had that happen. You've had
You've
that
had
happen
that
with your roommate,
happen.
I think, too.
Yeah. I don't remember the specific example that you're thinking of, but there has been multiple times where when I get messages, I'll just be like, "Oh, have you thought about that?" Like I try to word it like as you were saying, Heather. Like,
Yeah.
have you thought about this? Or
Or somebody's family member whose past has come through to you, so you can give the
Yeah.
message on to
Yep.
them to help them.
yeah.
That I
I've-
think
I've
is
done
what
that.
happened to you with
Yeah.
a friend.
Even
or roommate or something.
yeah. So like I've been able to help my roommate. Her father passed over a year ago, and I've been getting messages throughout that time, not only helping her, but then her extended family members as well. So that's been good, but I try to word it as like, oh, like here's if they're open to messages, then I'll give it to them. But I agree with both of you. I don't go out and be like, oh,
There was
Yeah.
a recent thing that
Time
came.
and place.
exactly,
There was
yeah.
a recent thing that came to my attention. I won't share because it's not. I don't have permission to share the story, but I'm just going to say this: messaging for people can help families feel connected to those who have passed and include them in family celebrations or family,
Yes.
even decision making
Mm-hmm.
by allowing those messages to come through.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened recently for a client of mine and her family, just from the messages that came through from their loved one. And they were able to keep that loved one connected to the family
Yes.
in an important way. So, yeah.
I think people have, different experiences around death as well. And when we lose somebody we love, we grieve the physical sense of losing that person. But if we learn to tap into the different psychic abilities that everybody has, you can develop a relationship beyond the physical,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you're ready, obviously. I mean, it's not
Right.
going to happen until you grieve. But like losing someone physically is so hard. But then when you know you can step back and ask them to come and give you a message and create this spiritual to the physical plane with you relationship, makes your world a little, it still feels comfortable. Like, that person's still there and you're not missing them so much because you're still getting that advice somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you feel like they're with you every step of the way because they are. They're still seeing what's going on.
I guess
They're
it's all
with
about
you.
having faith.
So yeah, yeah. So it's comforting.
Yeah. Yeah. I never force anybody that's lost somebody to like, instantly try to connect to a spiritual relationship. But, when you can give somebody the power to connect to
Mm-hmm.
that spiritual relationship, I think it's so beautiful because then you're reminded that you're never alone. You're always watched over.
And when you lose somebody very close to you, oftentimes that connection's not going to happen right away.
Right.
If you're in the grieving process, when my mother passed, I couldn't connect with her. I
Hmm.
had to rely on all my other friends who could to give me messaging. Same when your grandmother died.
When my lifeline,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
I wasn't able, even though this is my profession,
yeah.
this is how I am. When I lost her, I had to grieve physically before I could spiritually connect to
Grandma
all
had
the
to come
goodness.
to me and her daughter to say, knock it off, or,
Yeah. Now she's not shy about it.
No, no, not at all. Yeah, and I'm sure you've experienced that too. When your
Yeah.
sister first came to you, it wasn't right after she passed.
It wasn't right after.
No,
No, I'd say
you had to
it.
get,
It
yeah,
was at least a year, a
yeah.
couple of years. In all honesty, yeah, I think it was. I think she started coming to me at least a year. Maybe I
Yeah.
was in third grade when she first started coming.
And when your
But
grandmother passed, that wasn't right away
it
either.
wasn't right away either. Yeah, that was at least a good amount of
She's
time.
cool, by the way. I like her.
Yeah, she's a character. So yeah. Um but yeah, it's just it's incredible how we can at least help people with these gifts as well.
We say that
So
all the time. We say psychic mediumship messages are so healing that everybody should receive those messages and
mhm,
be open to this. And yeah, it's so healing to hear what your loved one on the other side is trying to say, or even just to know that they're there watching.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think people have got a little idea of what we're like and who we
Yeah.
are and what we're about. I hope going forward we can investigate and discover even more together of different topics that some we know a lot about and some we're gonna
Yeah.
get to know a lot about.
And we
Right.
talk more about it. Like we've talked about your clairaudient, your clairsentient, your uh,
Buoyant,
voyant, and I'm clairvoyant and clairauditory, and you're clairsentient and
clear cognizant.
cognizant, and like there's so many different wordings out there. I look forward to like hearing from the podcast world and hearing from everybody listening, and maybe we'll give them clarity, and maybe they'll bring clarity to us. It's going to be so wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm looking forward to all the different topics that we're going to discuss on this podcast. We have some great ideas.
Yeah, we want to delve into tarot,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit about runes, even just some of the metaphysical world, sacred geometry,
hmm
some of the differences that happen out there in the world that, you know, those legends and
I look forward to talking with everyone about healing, what healing looks like, from all different modalities and perspectives,
Hmm.
not just going to a doctor.
Hmm.
I think working on the energy body. Well, the energy is very metaphysical anyway.
That's a
All
good
the
point.
relationships between just our own energy body and the universal thing like white light and rainbows is crazy.
Hmm.
The connection of
And what's
spirit.
wonderful is we can back it all up with science.
That's true.
A lot of it.
That's true.
Most of it. A lot of it, yeah. And we're gonna do some investigative work for you too, right? And
Yes.
we're gonna try and connect to the
Yes.
spirits here in this place.
Absolutely. Oh, this I can't wait for that episode. It's, there's a lot going on in this building where we're filming, so it's going to be very exciting to see what we get from that.
Ryan's finally made friends with the spirits here.
It took me over 3 years, not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but finally did that, so it feels a lot better now.
Maybe we can get them to talk to us.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Until the next time, though, it's fun to have everybody like go out into public, and as you're doing your day-to-day things, just kind of connect and say pennies from heaven or coins from heaven, and see when you walk away from your car and come back to your car, or walk away from a building and see if there's a coin left for you. That's a really great way to know that someone's watching over us. So you could just kind of announce to your spirit world when you're going out, like, hey, I'm looking to connect with you, looking for coins from heaven. And that happens for so many people in a connection way, which is like the simplest way, one of the simplest ways. There's many out there, right? But so hopefully everybody will start going out and saying, I'd like pennies from heaven or coins from heaven.
I'd like a full-on $20 bill drop from
I'd like
heaven
a
for me.
full-on 50. Yeah, no.
You never know; those coins could be worth something.
All right.
Oh, that's right.
Chris,
You
is
got
there
the
any
coin
spirit
app.
out there?
I got the
That's-
coin app.
There's a reason you got that coin app, man. Have you been asking for pennies from heaven now?
No,
All right.
He
it's
says
just
no.
it's just something I enjoy doing out of curiosity.
All right.
So-
Well, now you got a way to funnel those coins towards you.
Exactly.
Between the crows and the spiritual world.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Dinner's
Um,
on you.
Yeah. We do have to pull a daily. We're going to pull an affirmation.
Yeah, we could pull an we're going to end each podcast by pulling an affirmation sharing. And just a little bit about affirmations. They're a way to manifest. And affirmations are read as if they are happening in the now. So even if they aren't, they're meant to help your mind to refocus and retrigger the mind. So there's a physiological reason why this happens. If you're thinking these thoughts, your brain will secrete what's called neurotransmitters that will go through the body and help create that reality for you. So when you work with affirmations and you read them, try to read them as if this has already happened. It's in the now. Even if it isn't, it's a way to manifest. I love manifesting, and so I do this a lot. And I'm pretty darn good at manifesting. So yeah, we could do the affirmation work, but
I ebb and flow with manifesting. Sometimes I'm really good at it for a couple weeks, and then we just got to go quiet for a little while, and things don't seem to be manifesting quite right, and so you come back to it. It's like this big ebb and flow. How about for you?
I feel like I'm similar. It depends if I'm really focusing on it. If I get distracted by other things and I'm not focusing on what I want to manifest, then it just takes longer.
so as we pick the affirmations, we're going to pick each one. That's probably, if we're picking it, it's meant for us. But anyone out there listening, if you hear affirmation that resonates with you, that's meant for you too. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
You want to go first?
sure.
All right. Drum roll, please.
I know,
Grab
right?
one out of the jar.
Chris can put in a drum roll.
Yeah. Well,
Eeny meeny.
Okay, so it says, okay, it is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light.
So fitting.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to go into the darkness to see the light, right? Just like
Yeah.
a seed
Yeah.
starts in the darkness in the warm soil or cold soil, and then begins reaching for the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
fitting.
you're
Yeah.
next.
I like
All
this.
right, I'm next. I feel complete. That is a moment to step back and just think about, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we're so on the go that,
Or we feel broken.
or broken, or there's so many boxes open that I have to do 1,000 things before my feet go back to, hit the floor. So yeah, I feel complete. It's a good feeling right in the base.
All right, ready?
Are you gonna get the one that you wanted?
I don't know. we'll see.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
I am my own best friend because nobody else loves me. No, my own best friend. Which
You are so loved.
and it's
Don't
interesting.
even.
It's interesting because as we were setting up, and I'm sure it's not filmed or on audio anywhere, our ever wonderful editor and producer over there, Chris, said something to me that you need to be kind to yourself. He said that directly to me. You need to be kind to yourself. And look what I pull. I am my own best friend. So that's a great affirmation, and it's something else that someone else in this room felt too for me. So yeah, be your own best friend. Well, thanks for being with us on our first episode, and we look forward to connecting with you next week.
Yes, we are ready to connect on social media. You can find us on platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to Ready to Connect. If you're interested in exclusive behind-the-scenes content, be sure to like, share, and follow us on social media by searching for Ready to Connect Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for those looking to further support our podcast, consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/readytoconnectpodcast. And until next time, get ready to connect.